Make a phallus. Everybody loves phalluses.
I'd have to cut it up first, though.
Oh, okay. Can you take pictures of one and then make one?
Sure. No. Maybe.
All right, everyone. Welcome back. We are starting Homelab Endeavours episode 2, and I am here with Evan, and he has volunteered to show me his rack and let me fondle it, probably, hopefully. Wife is home, so I won't be doing that much fondling. And here we are. So, Evan, would you mind taking us through what you have in your rack?
Sure. Actually, let me go ahead and open it so you can see better. A fancy light change for it being open. So at the top we got a little power distribution unit with the cool rocker switches. I never use them, but they look cool, so I like it.
Definitely does look cool.
After that we have the blank panel, just because it makes it easier. There's more room in the back for me to get to the back of this patch panel. Next we have the 24 patch panel. So I had to make all these because I don't know why Cisco does this, but all of their switches stick out by like that much. And it's super annoying, as opposed to like the Ubiquity switches, which will they're like flush against the rails, so it's a little annoying. But because of that, 6-inch patch cables hit the door.
Oh,
so
yeah.
I had to terminate all my own cables, which took a while, but I think it looks a lot better.
You did it. Yeah, you went all out. It's like I like the orange, and they're not just like showing the plastic tips.
Oh yeah, for sure.
So it looks way better.
And so I'm a big Auburn fan, so I tried to get like a little Auburnish.
You're gonna make me lose subscribers.
Roll Tide, War Eagle, go Vols, go Dogs, and go Gators. All right, that's most everybody's covered. Okay, after that is my Edge Router 4 so I'll cover this, but I've got the switch, the router, and my Cisco router. They got all console cables plugged in, so I'll get to that in a second. But so here we have the AT&T box, which I think you have that as well.
Yeah.
Wish I could ditch it, but for now I've got an IP pass-through mode, which is about all I can do. But this is an HD home run. It's a TV tuner, so I've got an antenna up in the attic, which I've got coax coming all the way down to the rack, and then this has coax in the back of it, and then Ethernet out, so that Plex can actually use that, so I can get live TV in Plex.
Did you run all the cables yourself?
Yeah.
Nice.
So I've got, I can do DVR, and I've got the TV, the local guide, so I can, schedule recordings and things like that. It's kind of nice because then you actually have like access to the file. If you're using like Sling or YouTube TV, like you can DVR stuff, but you have to watch it through their server. So that's kind of nice because you have an actual physical file on your computer, or digital, I guess. After that, I have my Reolink NVR, which you can see my security cameras going up there. It's kind of nice. This the only one I've really messed with, but it's done everything super well so far, so I'm really pleased.
Does it have onboard storage?
Yeah, it has 2 terabytes.
Cool.
On board.
So I know, so this is like a really popular topic right now, and I know a lot of people are looking at cameras and doorbell cameras like you are. Mm-hmm. So are you able to like offload or have like a network file share where you can store stuff too?
Yeah, there's an option in the GUI for it. So beside that, I've got a Raspberry Pi that's plugged up to I think a 2 terabyte hard drive. I'm not using it for anything at the moment, or the hard drive, I mean. But the Raspberry Pi I'm kind of using as a thin client, so that is what all of these console cables are plugged up to. So, typically I manage all of my networking devices from my computer over SSH. But if for whatever reason something's broken with the network and I can't get to these devices over SSH, I can actually walk over here to this Raspberry Pi essentially and console into any of the devices that I can access.
So this is your keyboard and mouse up here to access this?
Yes.
Cool.
Yeah.
All
So
right.
that's a good point. This actually goes to a KVM switch that I have mounted in the back of the rack. And so that's what the little remote here is for, so I can actually select which input I actually want to go to. Yeah, so that's pretty nice. I can also get to that. Obviously, I can get to that from my computer as well, so I can SSH into that and then console to anything I need to. After that, we have one of my 2 Dell R710s.
The good stuff.
The good stuff, absolutely. I don't know if I have this locked. I do have it locked.
It's all right. It looks like they're fully populated.
They're fully populated. Yeah, it was actually a super good deal on Amazon. It was like...
Amazon. Nice.
Yeah. So it's obviously refurbished, but it was 6 2 terabyte hard drives. 2, I don't know the model of the CPUs, but 24 threads, 128 gigs of ECC memory.
Overkill.
Absolutely. And
That's how we take it, though.
Absolutely.
We have all these resources just in case we need it in the future.
Absolutely. That's how I convinced my wife that I needed it. You know,
Yeah.
it's very important.
Exactly.
So that's running Proxmox, which is my first, entrance into hypervisors and virtualization.
Sweet.
I had some little ESXi experience at work, but I think in that paid, like of some kind, you have to pay for.
I actually am not too familiar with like VMware's whole pay scheme because I know they have things like pay by the core, pay by the CPU, and pay by the user. They're all over the place, and it's like really confusing for me personally. That's why like Proxmox is like a good spot because one, it's free.
Right. So yeah, so I've done a lot of learning with that. I'm running several VMs. Let me pull it out because I knew I would forget off the top of my head. So I'm running Plex. I already mentioned that. I'm running GNS3.
Plex running on a Linux VM or do you do Windows? Okay. Are you a Windows guy or a Linux guy?
I guess I'm a Windows guy, but only because I don't know Linux enough.
Okay.
I think I would
Makes
like
sense.
to be a Linux guy at some point because I think it's super powerful and it's nice to not have to deal with the whole, overhead of Windows every time you want to use something.
Yeah.
And of course, the Proxmox kernel is Linux.
Now, one thing I think we could all admit is Windows is getting a lot better, especially with their Linux support.
Mhm.
So it's a great opportunity for you now to like you said, you were SSHing in, and you can do that all now from PowerShell, which is really cool because you don't have to like download third-party applications anymore,
Mhm.
which for me is like the whole reason why I'm a Mac OS guy because you don't need any third-party anything. It's all integrated with your operating system.
Yeah, very true.
So that's pretty cool.
So I'm running Plex GNS3, which is for any of you that study Cisco certs, that's a big lab environment type
I haven't heard of that, yeah.
program. So
That's cool.
it's very powerful.
So you're also a networking guy, or?
Yeah, I'm strictly a networking guy.
Strictly
This is just playing around. I don't do with any of this at work. I'm usually switches and routers and things like that.
Yeah.
So I've got Open Media Vault running on here. The second R710 is going to be a free NAS box eventually.
Good.
So I'll eventually move over to that, but for now I'm running Open Media Vault, and I don't have it set up the best, but I didn't know what I was doing at the beginning, and it's too late to turn back right now. So
That's why it's a Homelab.
exactly. I'll get there eventually.
Yep.
I'm also running Home Assistant, which is a big smart home, player. If you use OpenHab, or I think Habitat is another one. It's basically an open source version of like Wink or SmartThings. Is that what it's called? Samsung SmartThings.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes,
So
it is.
it's super powerful, but it's very hard to learn. There's a huge learning curve. But for anyone that's looking to get into smart home stuff, I can't recommend it enough. It's how I do literally everything in my home. I've got smart thermostats.
This smart thing.
Yeah, that's a Z-Wave sensor that controls the light and behind my rack when it's open. I've got motion detectors that turn on lights at certain times. It's a lot, but I love it. It's super useful, especially for like, for example, my ADT alarm system has no integration because ADT sucks. But someone on Home Assistant community page doesn't suck, and they created an add-on for it that basically uses HTTPS, just logs in for you essentially.
Nice.
And through that, I can control that and Life 360. Every time me and my wife leave the house, it arms the alarm system. So things like that. It's super useful. I also have pfSense running on here. That was mainly for just learning it, but I'm also while I was learning it, I did set up kind of an open VPN server. So that's how So I've got my real link NVR completely blocked off from the internet. It can't.
Okay.
So the only way I can look at it if I'm outside the house is to VPN into my house through pfSense, and then I have access to my real link stuff. I have a Unify controller running on here. I have one Nano HD in the house. It covers the whole house. I don't have a super big house, so it's more than enough for me.
It's pretty big.
Yeah. I'm rolling in the dough over here. But
It's like 10 bedrooms.
yeah. Oh, that'd be nice. Maybe one day.
This is office 2.
Yeah. After that, I've got just like an Ubuntu VM running on here that I use it for certain functions with my smart home stuff, but that's another one that I'm using to learn a lot about Linux. I got free PBX running on here, which is for my IP phone on my desk. Learned that a little bit.
So do you pay for a service to get VoIP calls?
Yeah, so I use SIP.net or SIP.ms. Or no, VoIP.ms. God, I'm losing my mind. it's less than $4 a month.
Oh wow!
Yeah,
that is
it's
cheap.
super cheap.
Now it's my duty to let you know that Ubiquiti has VoIP service now. I think it's $10 a month though. It's kind of expensive for one line, or $10 for a line.
Gotcha. Yeah, maybe. I mean, I didn't do a lot of research into all the different providers. I just kind of picked one that had good reviews. And
It just came out, so
gotcha. Okay. Well,
what VoIP do you have?
It's a Yealink T46S, which if you look up the model, you're gonna be like, wow, you spent that much on a phone? Yes, I did, because I bought some Cisco phones that were converted to the SIP firmware, because Cisco, like, they do SCCP, I think it is, skinny something protocol, and I think SIP is the more universal, like, industry. Everyone uses SIP. So, but though I had a hard time with those phones. I got them to work some things on a free PBX, but there's a lot of functions that I couldn't get to work very well. So I went with something that had a lot of lines, a lot of functionality, and it was newer. And that's what I went with. And yes, I spent a lot of money on it. Okay. Also,
clearly,
yes. Now that I'm off my soapbox. Pi-hole, I'm running Pi-hole on here for my local DNS. I also got started with PRTG, which is a network monitoring software. It uses SNMP to keep track of all your switches and routers and things like that, see how they're doing.
Do you have a dashboard built into when you, like, so do you have, so are you able to view all the stuff at once, or are you looking at it all through Proxmox?
The VMs?
Yeah, well, like, so you have Plex,
Mm-hmm.
you have your unified controller and all that stuff. Do you have like a unified dashboard where you look at all that
hashtag
stuff?
Hashtag sponsored.
Yeah, right. Or is it just accessing
So
Proxmox?
as far as just like looking at the status of the VMs, like their CPU usage, memory usage, you can do that all through Proxmox. Eventually, I would like to get everything set up with, I don't know if PRTG can do this, probably, but Grafana is really good if you ever used it.
Yeah.
And then recently, I just started up a Minecraft server for my friends. So I haven't played that in a few years, so I thought I would give that a shot.
Good time to get back. But is it Bedrock or Pocket Edition?
Is there
there is.
It's not Pocket Edition. I don't know what Bedrock is.
Is it the Java one?
Yeah.
Okay, so classic.
Classic.
But everyone knows the Java Edition is the way to go.
Bedrock. Yeah, it's sick. I like it. So I already covered this one. I just actually bought this a couple weeks ago. It's a Cisco 1921 router. Like I said, I deal with mostly Cisco products at this job and my last job. So this is, while GNS3 is good for like...
I don't know that. Want to learn a few things I can do.
Alexa, stop. Got a brush pass through for some cables, another blank, and then, yeah, they're super nice. I love those.
It feels really cool, actually.
Yeah. And then, honestly, my Xbox 360 is down there. It's not plugged up. Have not turned it on. You're just going to keep doing it, I guess. All right.
It feels really good.
The Xbox 360 has not been turned on in probably...
I have to get me one of these.
Yeah, it's sick.
Because I don't know if I'd be sticking my finger in it, though. The one I have at home, not this one.
Okay, all right.
I'll stop fingering you around.
Yeah, appreciate it. And then another Raspberry Pi with a 5 terabyte hard drive, I believe. Also not plugged up, just that's where it's living right now until I find a use for it.
That was probably the most complete breakdown that I've had. And the next guy, I feel bad for you because you're going to have to figure out how to top this. And we're not even done.
Yeah, it's true.
I know some of you are probably thinking right now, why is it so quiet in here? And I was thinking the same thing. So why is it so quiet in here? How did you get these R710s to be dead?
So the secret, half the secret is the second one is not turned on. So that helps.
That definitely helps.
The first one, so I struggled with it being too loud for comfort when I first got it, for sure, as I'm sure many people have had the same problem. So I found this. So I'm using IPMI tools. I have a little Python script that all it does. Yeah, I think it's Python. All it does is check. It uses IPMI tools to get the ambient temperature. If the ambient temperature is under, I think I have it set to like 26 Celsius, it will manually set the fans to like 1200 RPM or probably even less than that. I can't remember exactly what I have it set to. And then if it gets over that, it sets it back to auto. So it'll, if the house gets too hot or whatever, or if the room gets too hot, it'll ramp back up and it'll get loud again.
It feels really good in here, especially when you have all this hardware running. Like, I don't know how much like heat you're producing here, but it's pretty comfortable. Yeah.
So this office itself, even without all this stuff, like in the summer, it gets hot in here for some reason. I guess I looked at the insulation in the attic, and it doesn't look that bad. But
Maybe it's like the sun hits this
yeah,
side more.
I'm not sure what it is, but yeah, when I started putting stuff in here, it just got super hot. So, but hopefully in winter, it's because Stephanie's here. But hopefully with the winter coming up, this is by far the most hard drive I've ever had in it. So hopefully that'll keep my house a little warmer, save some money on my electric bill. Probably not because I'm powering it, so it doesn't really matter. But
no money savings.
Yeah, not at all. I got a Z-Wave thermostat that I've been trying to do some using my smart home stuff to try to work on like the algorithm for like when to set. Basically, I'm trying to do what Nest does with the non-Nest thermostat, essentially, or an Ecobee. So that's not really working too great so far. But Honeywell, fix your firmware if you're listening.
They're not. Nobody is.
No, absolutely not.
Maybe Spencer from Unraid, who wants me to get you to stop using FreeNAS and switch
Oh
over.
no.
Maybe. So
I'm not against Unraid. I just don't want to pay for Unraid,
Also, the TrueNAS guys watch this, so they're probably like, "Yeah, finally we got
TrueNAS,
one."
what's up?
But I don't know. I could probably hook you up with Unraid. We have a giveaway in November.
Okay.
If you win, I think we're going to give away a pro license.
Oh,
So,
what's the difference?
the number of hard drives you can have.
Gotcha.
available.
I'm limited to 6 in these chassis, obviously.
Yes.
So
you could probably do basic and be fine.
okay. Well,
Which
that's
is
just
only-
another reason that I'll have to buy another R710, really, so I can do both.
Yeah.
I actually bought I bought a NetApp disk shelf a while ago, and it was a super good deal. It was like 19.
It's always a good deal.
I'm telling you, it was like.
Honey, it was on sale, honey.
Okay, listen to this and tell me if I'm wrong. Okay, it was 19 2 terabyte hard drives, just the disk shelf, so there's no
Okay.
controller or anything like that.
Okay.
But it had all the caddies, and it was like 600.
I don't know if that's a good deal.
It was a super good deal because I can't find anything that comes close to that anymore, and it was damaged in shipping, which sucks.
So for the record, he's only saying that out loud because his wife is actually standing in the other room,
Yeah,
within earshot.
yeah, but
It was a terrible deal, and everyone should know that.
No, it wasn't. Okay. No, it was a good deal, and I was going to use it, but actually the bad part about it, I'm kind of glad it didn't work out. Okay. I'm about to. You got to get me in
She's
trouble
got a
here.
frying
You're
pan
gonna
in
get
her
me
hand,
trouble. Okay. Anyway, moving on.
But speaking of automation and other cool things like that, we're going to check out his 3D printer because this thing is like, I've been eyeballing it since we've been here. So let's do that. All right, so walk me through this 3D printer. What do you actually use it for besides printing phalluses?
Well, that's pretty much it. So I guess this part's done. And I originally got it for printing face shields for medical workers back when the pandemic was kind of first really hitting hard. So I printed like 10 or so maybe and got those to my sister works at Madison Hospital, so I gave those to her and she was able to give those to some of her coworkers. But other than that, I've just been playing around. I don't know much about 3D printing, so I'm kind of learning.
Nice.
Yeah, we're getting real close, real personal. But
I want to get intimate.
yeah, so I printed some can koozies that I gave my buddies, so that's kind of cool. That's really about it. Nothing good, nothing important, nothing unique. I printed some toys. I modeled a batarang that had rounded edges for my nephew, so he wouldn't like kill somebody when he threw it.
That's really adorable, though.
Yeah, I think I printed a Saturn V rocket. At
That's
some
really
point.
cool.
He broke it though, my nephew, so I'll have to print another one.
What's the tallest thing you can print on this?
So this is at maximum height right here.
Okay.
So whatever that distance is, I'm sure I could
It looks like
overlay number here. on
3.5 bananas.
video. Yeah,
4 bananas.
yeah, somewhere around there.
So how long does it take to print like a face mask? Holder thing?
Face mask. I think for the headman part was
The headband,
like
yeah.
maybe 2 hours. I want to say.
Okay, that's not bad.
Yeah, so there was a different model I used that I don't know if you keep up with the channel Smarter Every Day on YouTube, but
That's the other guy that lives in Huntsville, right?
yeah, the other one that's not you, yeah.
The real
the two
YouTuber.
big YouTubers, you
The guy,
and Smarter Every Day.
the guy that actually teaches things.
Yeah, so he started that big whole Huntsville Fighting COVID or whatever it's called. So they had this certain model that they were using. So the ones that he posted that I printed, those take like 4 or 5 hours, so those are a little longer. But it's a roast stock Max V3 for anyone that cares. You're gonna say, Evan, you spent that much on a 3D printer? No, I didn't, because it was given to me.
Yes.
So
And your dad made this.
And yeah, my dad made this.
So it saved even more money.
Yeah. So there was a spool holder that comes right here. God, it's dusty. Ignore that. Your spool holder that usually attaches right here that holds one or two spools, I think. Oh yeah, here we go. Okay.
Who would have thought?
Who would have thought? But it only holds 2, and I think like you couldn't do like a 5 kilogram spool on it. So I got my dad to build this. I made him like a little sketch and just gave him some dimensions, and he went actually built it and painted and everything. So it's super nice. It's got a big drawer that I keep a lot of the tools I use. And I think there's another spool way back in there. So, yeah, that's a 5 kilogram spool right there. So that would not fit on the holder. So
now, have you printed yourself any caddies for your R710?
No, because I have all of them. But if they ever break, for sure I will.
All right, so y'all can hit me up, and I'll get him to make y'all some caddies. But you got to pay shipping, just so everybody knows.
You're gonna get me sued by Dell, 100%. It's gonna suck
Easily.
But because I don't have the lawyers Dell has.
Just don't put the Dell logo on it.
That's true.
Put the LED.
Lead.
Lead.
Yeah, there you go.
LED Doggo on it.
You are like
Screw
what's the word? Dyslexic or something.
I'm all sorts of problems. Nobody knows. Also, since before I forget, so it's really cool. The first thing he showed me when I walked in is this outlet is controlled by Alexa, so he can turn this on and off with his voice.
Yeah, but actually, I think your light's plugged into it right now. So
yeah, so don't do that.
So I'm not going to do that because it'll mess with your lighting. But
my beautiful lighting.
Yeah.
My green backdrop.
That's right. You can put a Raspberry Pi in here, and then that can connect to your network, and you can actually control this over Wi-Fi or over your network. But the problem I was having was that there was some like power voltage spikes or dips that was killing everything. So I just took it up. Oh, there it goes.
Nice.
Yeah, so the voltage spikes, because it was running the 3D printer and the Raspberry Pi off the same power supply, obviously. Well, the problem I was having was that when you do it with the Raspberry Pi is the one that sends the messages over serial. So number one, it's slower. But number two, if for whatever reason that Raspberry Pi kicks the bucket or restarts or whatever it does, it kills the print. So I'm huge into smart home stuff, like probably more than I should be. I've got like 12 or something smart switches in my house. It's kind of a problem. It's a little bit of an addiction, but
no, it's not.
It's fun.
I mean, these is our support group here. This is what we're all about.
So you all know. You all know.
It's not a problem. It's a habit.
My wife would disagree, but
So now, I know what you guys all actually want to see. And you told me not to show you this.
No.
Oh my god.
Oh gosh.
Oh. You know who makes great products for all this cable management? # sponsored. OVO.
Oh yeah, I saw you did their Underdesk thing, right?
Yeah.
Isn't that them? Yeah.
They used to love me, and now they don't answer my emails anymore.
Oh no.
I can't show you the bad cable management back there, but I promise you it's terrible.
It's terrible.
It was very, very bad. Here's all this cool making equipment. Everyone loves to see what other people's labs look like, and I gotta tell you, this one's actually pretty tidy. It's a lot, except for that
you should have seen
there.
it this morning.
He did admit that he cleaned up.
So actually, I have my old work laptop. I used to sit right there when I would bring it home, and then I could just it had a dock, so I had my own dock, and I would basically set my laptop in, press a few buttons, and then I had like my PC over here, and then my work laptop on a few screens over there. So it was
so an Apple day kept your dock away.
Basically, essentially, I don't know about these puns, Stefano.
I just kind of make them up, whether they make sense or not. How old is this coat? It feels like it's really warm, so it's been there for several days.
No, I just finished it a minute ago.
And here's his CCNA studying thing that he's doing, supposedly.
I already did that.
Oh, how was this book? I like the movie.
I read like the beginning of it, and then I just watched the movie.
So how about this? What's your favorite Bible?
The Bible. You don't have a favorite?
Dude.
No, I like all the verses.
The man after my heart.
It's pretty funny.
What's funny?
Before you got here, the movie that was in front was this one right here. And then I was like, I can't let that be the front movie.
Why not? That's actually a really good movie.
I mean, it is pretty good.
I love
Jurassic
the
Park's also
songs
good.
where they sing Be Our Guest, Be Our Guest or whatever. I love that song. All right, Evan, well, I just want to say thanks for allowing me to come over and fondle your rack and,
Anytime.
finger it a little bit and just show me around in general. It's actually a pretty cool, sweet, home lab that we have going on here, or even office environment. I know I poke fun at everybody, including myself, but, this stuff is actually really important to a lot of people, despite what a lot of people think. This does seem overkill and does seem unnecessary a lot of times, and we can kind of agree it probably is. But honestly, it's the best way to learn, especially if you're trying to get your CCNA or CCP or whatever you said.
Yeah,
that one. This stuff really helps out and is really helpful for your future. So for those of you at home that don't have home labs and want to get into this environment, again, this is a great way to learn anything you want at home, whether it be Linux or Windows or even networking. It's a great way. And you can start super cheap because there's always great deals to be had, as we've sort of talked about a little bit. R710s are really good, although power hungry. And now I think the consensus is to look for an R720, which you get a lot more power for, but you can still make them quiet with IPMI like you mentioned, and there's plenty of sources online for that. And also you can get lots of cores and RAM on the cheap for those as well. And with that being said, once again, thank you so much. I don't have any free gifts for you like the first guy, but yeah, I'm sorry.
That's okay.
I'm not that sorry, actually. I told you I'd give you a 10 gig NIC at least to get you started. I mean, those are cheap.
Do a giveaway or something. I don't know. I feel like I have enough
November
stuff.
giveaway.
November giveaway. Subscribe and retweet for your chance to win. I don't know if that's how you're doing it.
No, we don't do it like that.
November giveaway.
Be there, be square. Peace! Cool. I hope I fogged that up enough that people can actually see that.
That'd be funny. you just can't even see your face by the end of it.
That's what I was going for, but I don't know if it actually worked.
That's so funny.
This probably needs to be sanitized now as I take off my mask and start breathing heavily.